Hi there, and thanks for tuning in to this week's edition of your Wheel and Anchor weekly newsletter. Well, I was all set this week to head off to Europe and resume a reconnaissance for all the different tours and trips that we're planning for next year and beyond. And once again, the pandemic has gotten in my way, and it goes without saying that I thought better of trying to embark on a mission through countries where the virus appears to be entering its second wave. And it really left me a little bit dejected over this past week. And when I realized that once again, my plans to travel have been foiled. At the same time, I've received a number of emails from people, and I know that my colleague Paula has spoken to a number of members over the last couple of weeks. And, you know, the growing frustration out there that we still can't travel. And it really made me realize, and it made me understand a little bit more about the fact that, let's face it, a lot of you, and myself included, I mean, we've been saving up all of our lives and working hard through our careers to have the opportunity to use this time in our lives to go out and travel. And all of a sudden, this situation has put us into a place where we can't travel. And that desire to get out on the road again is as great as ever. And yet the situation, you know, does appear to be hopeless, at least for the short term. I'm more optimistic for the long term, and it really struck a chord with me that you know, we're at a point in our lives when, you know, let's face it, we don't live forever, and the opportunity to get out and see the world and enrich ourselves as human beings is a relatively short window for most people, and as time goes on, and as we have to maintain patience for a solution to this crisis. I think that will come. I remain optimistic, and I'm pleased to hear optimism as well from our members, together with a dose of patience. And, you know, it's part of what we've been doing over the last several weeks, to pass the time before we can actually get on the road is thinking and planning for what the future of travel is going to look like. As I've said on a number of occasions before, it's not going to be the same, certainly not in the short term. We're going to have to change the way that we travel and how we look at it and how we plan for it. And really everything we do is going to be a little bit different, certainly for the next couple of years. It's partly why we've been doing these future travel forums, and it's been encouraging. We've had a growing number of members who've participated. If you haven't had a chance to participate in any of those, please do, because at the very least it gives you a bit of a glimpse into the type of travel that we might do in the future once we get going again. So if you're feeling a little bit disappointed and feeling a little bit down that, you know, that you've been stuck at home, take some comfort in the fact that we're all in this together. So one way that you can sort of alleviate that is by expressing your thoughts about what you'd like to do for the future. And I know a lot of people have been spending their time researching about where they're going to go when we're ready to go. Again, this is exactly the mission that I've been on with my team, is to look at the kind of ways that we can travel. And that's been the theme of the Future Travel Forum in the last couple of weeks, is to, you know, examine the ways to travel, and particularly the length of time that we spend on the road. You know, it may not be so convenient or cost efficient to make multiple trips every year, as so many of us are accustomed to doing. And as a result, we're looking into this methodology where we go on longer trips but spend more time. Part of, I think, a lot of people's hesitancy to longer trips is that they tend to be so hectic that by the time you come back, you need a holiday again. And this is, again, what the part of the thought process that we're putting into our new forms of travel with our 5x5 and our long stay holidays, all of which are in development, and all of which will become available at the appropriate time. So I just wanted to let you know that, as I say, as I prepare to stay a few more weeks or perhaps a few more months here in Thailand, I'm thinking about you. I'm thinking about all of our combined desire to get back out on the road, and I'm going to keep that optimism and keep all of your thoughts in mind with me as we plan for our for travel in the future. So on that note, again, the links to our previous Future Travel Forum webinars are in the blog below, so do click on those and have a look. Our next one will be October the 8th. We're going to talk about Central and Eastern Europe, where we've got some interesting 5x5 programs in store for you there. Following that, we'll have some more interesting webinars with Egypt that we'll be launching later in October. We're excited to get back to that destination as well. Keep your comments coming in. I love to get them. I love to hear the feedback. It really helps me to understand where the minds of all of you are at and how that plays out in the travel that we are planning. Look forward to catching up with you again next week.